Nice to be the government. You can just make crimes legal. You run the government. I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
This is the law. This is Stephen, right?
Okay. Do you handle interference with child custody?
With child custody, are you trying to modify child custody?
Okay. I was kind of wanting to know if it's possible for me to know what you do there. May I have your name?
My name is Nina. I'm the receptionist.
A completely random law firm, ma'am. It's okay. It's okay, ma'am. Okay.
Can I
So,
help you?
I'm sorry?
Can I help you?
I don't know, ma'am. Hacking the phone network is a crime. But okay, so so I would like information on the services you provide. You there?
We provide representation for criminal cases, civil cases, family cases, legal cases, as well as personal injury.
Okay. So I'm trying to get there's some interference with child custody crimes going on. And then I have a personal injury situation because multiple parties are involved in a harassment scheme. And I've been trying to seek legal representation, and they're committing crimes to deprive me of that. So, but anyway, you have to see it to believe it. I do have evidence. I reported conspiracy to violate civil rights crimes because people are abusing power to intervene and be getting services at multiple different locations and hacking my phone network, committing crimes to have me speak with counterfeits. They can get away with it because no one would ever believe it. But I'm calling today because of the interference with child custody crimes that have been committed. I need legal representation regarding that and a modification regarding the crimes that were committed to keep me away from my child. How can you help with that, ma'am, for your law firm?
So you need help with some. So you need
Phone's
help
malfunctioning.
with.
I'm sorry, I can barely hear you, ma'am.
I'm just trying to understand what you need help with. There are crimes committed.
Okay, so what do you do there for interference with child
Can you
custody?
explain again?
Okay, for interference with child custody, I don't know why, ma'am, the attorneys want to be abusive. I mean, these are not ways to treat potential clients. So this is a completely random law firm, ma'am.
Not being abusive. The way you are talking is way too fast, and I need you to slow down so I can understand.
Oh, I get gaslit all the time, ma'am. Okay, so what do you do there for interference with child custody?
Every case is different, so I can't really tell you what we can do for your case. I'm the receptionist. I set up this consultation. I can't really go in depth to how.
Well, ma'am, do you know why attorneys and everywhere, even the legal aid and then even the attorney general line, don't want me to have any education? Even the legal advocacy lines deprive me of education. You have to see it to believe it. And I don't understand why attorneys would do this in person in the legal lines. That's their responsibility. They still lie and deprive me of information, ma'am. But as far as this law firm, interference with child custody is pretty clear cut. It's a crime to interfere with a legal custodial agreement. Why is it so hard for a multitude of parties for years? So how can you represent me if the crime of legal interference with child custody is committed? I mean, it's a crime. How many different ways? That's like saying I can't really represent you for like maybe an assault. There's multiple different ways of assault. I don't know how to give a proper example, but I mean, it's interference with child custody. That's one crime, or maybe like an harassment charge. It's still one crime.
Ma'am, Nina explained to you that she's the receptionist and she doesn't know anything.
Oh, who are you, ma'am? Because this is a pattern, ma'am. Somebody else gets interrupt the call from me progressing for years, ma'am. Who are you?
I'm the office manager and we won't be taking your case. Please call another firm.
They haven't been taking it for years, ma'am. It's a scheme. I need to get the con artist off my phone.
I'm so sorry. Call someplace else to have them help you. We're not interested.
I'm sorry. I think it is absolutely sick. I think that this is just the most, you cannot, this is like like a horror movie. I have never seen any movie on this planet to describe my experience. Nothing would have ever prepared me for the living nightmare I'm experiencing. You can easily get away with this chaos because no one would ever, 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 ever believe what I have been through. I have never seen anything, period, to remotely get me prepared for the living nightmare I have currently experienced or am experiencing and have experienced in the past. So let's call again and talk to more scammers that can see the work. I mean, what we do have is we have a stalker. Let's keep things into context. That is running the government. So we have a mentally unstable man running the government, and he's thinking of ways he can abuse his power to incorporate his obsession and abuse in everyday any possible avenue he can. He obsesses and thinks of any possible way, going to the grocery store, any way with tampering with air, whatever he could possibly do all day and all night. But the problem was problematic for me and my family. He can entice churches and he can entice everyone in my environment to be a conspirator in his crimes. Since they're on my phone 24 hours a day, they just go back and call these people that I know. Can you please be a conspirator with me? I want her to hurt for you. If that makes me feel like a man, then whatever they're doing in the background to help assist. So let's call and speak with another account. I think this is absolutely sick. I've stated it multiple times before COVID that the level of power I was witnessing that was consistently getting abused was dangerous for all mankind. Shutting down schools, attorney general stealing payments, banks covering for crimes with the police department, school teachers bullying kids getting strangled, multiple parties covering for that, including CPS, trapped on trains, buses, ran off roads, and this person is running the government. You know what, church? Don't help her. Don't help her. She don't help. In fact, don't help her, and I need you to disregard her. He loves the humiliation and the to make a person feel like they don't have any value. He gets off on that. But here's the problem. I've been at church. I've been at a domestic violence support group. I've been in jail, on false charges with inmates guarding me. So that's the problem. I don't think I've been at CPS and they're not protecting kids. I've been at Social Security Administration and they're committing crimes. And I've been at the court, the family court, and they refuse to abide by the law. I've been to the DA. They won't abide by the law. I've been to the FBI in multiple different locations, and they refuse to abide by the law. I went to the Civil Rights Division. I went to speak with civil rights advocates. They came in with a scheme saying I was deranged to interrupt that. When I had paperwork in my hand that said it was legal, it was true events extending from a long period of time. They forced me to leave the location without getting anything resolved, and that was that. I haven't been able to get an update. I went to go get an update from John Wiley Price. They threatened to give me a criminal trespass for just simply wanting his address. I've stated multiple times that I don't feel that this is safe for anyone. And I was repetitively getting ignored before COVID. So they just sit on my phone, look at my searches, sabotage them. So when I go in person,
quality and research purposes,
they're committing crimes too.
privacy policies. This call is not confidential.
This was terrible. I didn't even know how I thought I was going to have a heart attack. It was terrifying. Threatened 3 or 4 times a day. Everywhere I went covered for it. I'm sorry, what did I call?
The Chavez Law Firm.
Okay, you handle custody situations?
We do.
Okay, I wanted to know how you help with the interference with child custody crime. Interference with child custody. You handle custody, and if there's interference with child, okay, and if there's interference with child custody,
if there's any interference, what do you mean by that?
Interference with child custody. The other parties they committed crimes to sabotage my rights as a parent, made false statements to a family court.
Okay, then
Okay, so how do I get that? What's your name?
My name is Lucinda.
Lucinda. So with the modification, how do I get them the consequences they deserve for making the false statements? That's a felony. So what do I do? How do I get? I'm sorry, I can't. It's hard for me. I don't know why I get interrupted speaking. Okay, so for the interference with child custody, so how do I get the consequences for the other parent? I mean, what are the consequences if they make false statements to a family court? What do we do?
Okay, what I can do, I'm not the attorney. You would have to come in and speak with the attorney about that.
Okay, so I don't know why. What is your position?
I'm his assistant.
And what was your name again?
My name is Lucinda.
Okay. So, what are the if they're supposedly my rights were taken away from false statements? So, what? How do you? How does the modification work?
Okay, again, I can schedule you to come in and meet with the attorney so you can.
Ma'am, it's very hard because I don't want to. Okay, how much is the consultation? Is it free? The first consultation?
No, it's $100.
$100 for the first
For your
consultation.
retainer.
Okay, so I don't know what you guys do. You're not willing to tell me anything, period. I'm not getting any education on the situation. So is there anyone that can help? I'd like information before I set up this consultation.
So you would have to come in because I am not the attorney. I don't want to advise you the wrong information. So that's why I'm telling you, I can set you up.
I've been going through this years, ma'am. No one has given me answers for years, so I'm a little anxious. Because I've been going this for several years, and all parties that I contact in person and over the phone do the same thing. So I don't know what's so hard about getting information on interference with child custody if it's not planned. If it's planned, you would plan for someone not to tell another party on, so they wouldn't have education on how they're being violated. But I am trying to pay an attorney, ma'am, on my phone, which is kind of sadistic if someone was able to prevent me from begging for help on my phone. And it would be unbelievable as well, ma'am. Ma'am?
Okay, give me 1 second.
Okay, thank you.
Give me 1 second.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So they like to play games and intervene in my break time and have me put me on hold. He likes to degrade me and have them mistreat me. That is his pleasure, and now they know I'm recording. So it's switched up. Hello? They hung up. They're not on my phone. She said, hold on, and then hung up. Another scammer. Let's see what crime they have to commit. It's really frustrating. I'm sorry, what was your name?
I'm sorry?
Your name?
I'm sorry, it's very difficult to hear you.
It's very difficult to hear me. Yes, ma'am. May I have your name?
My name is Jasmine.
Okay. Do you withhold legal information or information on your representation there? I show that this is a family law firm.
Yes, this is a family law.
Do you not have an attorney that I can speak with? She hung up. You got to see it to believe it. They just hung up. Obvious scammers. If someone he's committing a felony, I don't care that it's hundreds of thousands of people involved. They had no problems violating that. How much worse is that for me? To break into my phone, guard me in jail with inmates to violate me there. If they the inmates couldn't violate me and keep me isolated, put me in isolation. Just flat out, just put me in isolation. No reason, just they had the power to abuse, just put her in isolation. They did it. Withheld, would not mail mail if it incriminated anyone. I saw my mail sit in the mailbox for days. I looked at it. So then they started trying to hide it because they weren't mailing the letters that I was wrote to report them, which that's a felony. But if you're the law, breaking the law, apparently it's okay.
How can I help you?
Yes, I'm sorry. May I have your name?
Hello?
Yes, may I have your name?
This is Bianca. How can I help you?
Okay, what did I call?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
What did I call?
Ma'am, I can't hear you very well.
You can't hear me, ma'am? Yeah, for a multitude of parties, it's hard for them to remember what location I called in their name. But I'm sorry, what did I call?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Sure.
Can you speak a little bit softly? I can't hear you very
You
well.
can't hear me?
It
Okay.
sounds really loud.
What did I call?
This is McClure Law Group.
Okay, and may I have your name?
Bianca.
Okay, so let me guess, the attorney's out?
You need help finding a lawyer?
Is the attorney out? No one's in right now?
Are you a current client? Are you looking for a specific attorney?
Yeah, I want to have information. It's interference with child custody crimes, and I'm looking for an attorney that'll prosecute or do whatever they need to help me that party get the felony, because that is criminal.
Oh, okay. So let me put you in a brief hold just a moment.
A brief hold, okay.
Our group will help.
They can't help. It's my break time. He's sadistic. He likes for them to hold me up and play games on my break time. I know you gotta, it doesn't sound believable. That's why I don't discuss things like this, typically. But the massive amount of frustration, this has went on years. Hours and hours and hours and hours of calls. They are fully aware they're getting recorded, and the only thing they're trying to convince you is if it's an authentic call, and I'm a delusional. I know full blown well what's going on. You don't make 90% of your calls aren't being returned if there's not a crime being committed. Attorneys aren't rude and mistreat potential clients, all of them. If there's not something amiss. Hello?
Hi, sorry for keeping you waiting. You called early today, right?
I don't think so. I'm not aware that I called earlier today.
I can see your phone in our register, so I see you called early today. I think you already spoke with one of our paralegals. If you want, I can give you a recommendation for another attorney.
Okay, so I don't understand why it's so hard to figure out how do I get people prosecuted for interference with child custody. I haven't been able to find that out for years.
I think because you have a very specific case, that maybe our firm wouldn't be able to take it. That's what
Child custody, interference with child custody.
But I think it's involving some other details.
No, I just want to know how to report interference with child custody. It's simple. How do you report interference with child custody? If a party is not interfering in a custody agreement, it's a felony. What do you do to get them the consequences they deserve?
I'm just a receptionist. I don't know how to answer those questions.
They haven't been able to answer it for several years, ma'am. All the parties, the courts, a multitude of people have not been able to answer it. That's why I'm trying to pay someone for the answer, and they still can't answer it. Okay, what's the number? What's the number, ma'am?
Yeah, just a moment. 243-2236.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So I just want people to know what I've been going through for years. For people just to see the level of power and corruption that I've experienced.
Good afternoon, Gunstack's Law Office. Lisa.
I'm sorry, can you speak up? I can barely hear you.
Yeah, this is Gunstack's Law Office. This is Lisa.
Okay. Let me guess, the attorneys are out?
I'm sorry, what was that?
All the attorneys are out now? Is that correct?
All the attorneys?
Right.
We only have one attorney in this office.
And they're gone now, right?
Actually, he's in the office, but he's working on a deadline. Is there a message I can leave for him?
Well, I just haven't been able to get my calls returned for years or any information. Are you a paralegal?
I am not.
Okay. Yeah, no one has been available for years, man.